Right there, sausage snout!
Piggy?
Kim Kardashian had this app.
Hello, twinks and sluts. How are ya?
Welcome to the show.
The game. For those of you who have stuck around for a while, you might notice I am not a PNG file today, and frankly, that's because that is a lot of work, and today I don't feel like working that hard. Secondly, I'm gonna just jump right into it. I found a really ridiculous story on Facebook that I think you're all gonna get a kick out of. And I do have to apologize, because I know Facebook is kind of turning into another Nazi platform, as if, you know, Twitter wasn't enough. However, it is also the only place in which I can see what my boomer relatives are saying about me specifically, because they forget everything they post is public.
Don't stop. Go on.
As for the story, I was just scrolling through Facebook when this popped up, and it was an article by People magazine. Now, I haven't heard that name in, 30 years? Are they even still printing magazines, or are they, fully online now? I know Teen Vogue is fully online.
And I only know that because there was an influencer who pretended to be on the cover of Teen Vogue, even though they have not been in print in, a decade.
Actually, I remember back in the early to, late 90s, I used to collect all of my mother's People magazines like they were Pokemon cards, and then I would cut out all of the shirtless models and hide them in a shoebox under my bed. I was a closet case.
I'm like, God, please don't let this man open his closet.
Kim Kardashian had this app.
Anyway, that is not the point of this video. The point of this video is to tell you about the story I came across because it is highly entertaining. I do want to start off by saying that this story does kind of involve child abuse, and while I do not find the abuse itself funny, because I am a foster parent turned adoptive parent, and I'm also a public educator, so looking out for children is always going to be a top priority of mine. However, you're going to see exactly what I mean by it's low-key kind of entertaining as we get through it.
You'll see. You'll all see!
So I'm gonna read the article. I'm not gonna list names. I know you can probably find the article and find the names yourselves, but we don't dox on this channel. So I am gonna call the suspect in question Christy Carlson Romano, who's actually named Christy Carlson Romano. That's the fakest shit I've ever heard in my life. But I might be a little bitter that Christy Carlson Romano actually blocked me on Twitter because I asked her why she had an alleged fist on her podcast. Christy Carlson Romano was arrested and charged with felony child abuse after allegedly smacking a child on a flight departing Sanford Orlando International Airport in Sanford, Florida. Of course it was fucking Florida. Everything like that happens in fucking Florida. According to the arrest report from the Sanford police, which was examined by People magazine, not me, Christy Carlson Romano was detained by police after an alleged outburst that occurred on an Allegiant Airlines flight. Of course it was Allegiant Airlines. It's always Allegiant or Spirit Airlines. Nothing fun ever happens on JetBlue. Which I have a lot of JetBlue points that I need to use when planes stop crashing. The pilot on board the flight called the police and asked them to respond to allegations of a disturbance. I mean, if you're that loud that even the pilot can hear what's going on, you know you're in trouble. When the officer arrived, Christy Carlson Romano and other members of her party had exited the plane and were walking away from the gate after voluntarily deplaning. Imagine slapping a child and then just walking away like it's gay brunch on Sunday afternoon. Speaking to police, Christy Carlson Romano allegedly said that she snapped after the child had called her fat and Miss Piggy, the latter being a reference to the Muppets character of the same name, if you don't know that already. I had a Gen Z kid the other day tell me that they had no idea who Miss Piggy was, let alone the Muppets, and honestly, I wanted to smack the shit out of him too. And honestly, if hitting a child after calling you fat isn't the most Miss Piggy shit I've ever heard in my life, I have no idea. I have no idea what is. Honestly, if she didn't hit that kid with a missed opportunity. In the report, she accused him of being very rude and disrespectful to her during their entire time together. She allegedly told police that she took away their phone but resorted to physical violence. After the child continued to misbehave. According to witnesses, she used her fist and a water bottle to strike the child. Okay, we've officially left smack territory. Early in the article, they said that she only smacked him, but it sounds like it goes a lot further than that. We're now in the territory of WWE pay-per-view. Like a water bottle and a fist? You're not disciplining your child at that point. You're auditioning for Raw. Christy Carlson Romano also allegedly slammed their head into the window, which is probably the most piggy thing I have ever heard in my life. Like, honestly, you cannot hide what is inside. And this kid completely proved her point. During the attack, the victim reportedly attempted to protect themselves from the blows by covering their head, which, smart kid, you want to protect the face at all costs, because when you turn 40 like me, you still want to be pretty. And you know, honestly, like, we're really past, like, the justified anger moment in this. Like, we've, like, gone into full-on assault. First it's the fist, then it's the water bottle, and then your body slamming his head into the window. Okay. It's like Miss Piggy on Mortal Kombat. Which begs the question, if Miss Piggy were in this scenario, what would Miss Piggy do?
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the press, adoring fans, and tiny children everywhere, I would like to issue a heartfelt, sincere apology. What happened on Flight 237 was not my best moment. Emotions were high, the cabin was stuffy, and the child in question did keep kicking the back of my seat while I was meditating. But that is not an excuse for my behavior. I am deeply sorry for my actions, and I hope the young boy, Timmy, Tommy, or whatever his name was, can forgive more for reacting passionately. I have since enrolled in the mindfulness program and agreed to fly only first class from now on. We must all learn from our mistakes.
Miss Piggy, right over here. Is it true that you threatened to drop kick the flight attendant too?
He gave me tap water when I asked for Fiji, you buffoon! Again, moi is truly, deeply sorry. Thank you. That is all. Good Lord, get me the hell out of here. What was that interview?
Thank you, she says from Boundary Break. I bet you didn't know he could do a really mean Miss Piggy impression.
The woman was not correcting the child, a witness told police, adding she was abusing them. They said that Christy Carlson Romano was literally whipping the shit out of that kid, which is very Miss Piggy of her. I don't really know what the relationship is of this woman to that child. Sounds like a parent or guardian situation, but suffice to say that's not actually parenting, that's a full-on boss battle. I wonder how many hit points this poor kid had. Flight attendants on board reportedly did not witness the alleged altercation. Okay, if I were a flight attendant, in which case I would probably be panicked because I am a very anxious flyer. No matter how many times in my life I have flown, I am always terrified to be that high up in the sky. I don't think I would miss this. Like, I'm not criticizing them, they're probably just doing their job, but like, if this was as loud and obnoxious as it sounds like it was, how does one miss something like that? The police report indicated that neither drugs nor alcohol was related to the case. So this is important to note. This was sober behavior, which I think we can kind of all take away from this. Like, don't be sober. Go get your ass drunk. Actually, no, don't, because substance abuse runs in my family like a fucking plague. Which is why I only drink caffeine. Which I am absolutely addicted to.
Ooh, my coffee enema is kicking in.
According to the article, it's not immediately clear how old the victim was, nor their specifics of the relationship with Christy Carlson Romano. However, the report stated that they were part of the same group that was in Florida to visit Disney World. The happiest place on earth, allegedly. Imagine going to Disney World and coming home with not a souvenir, but a felony charge. That's kind of funny. So yeah, there's really not much more to say about this article other than that was the most Miss Piggy story I have ever fucking heard in my life, and also don't hit children. Especially not on a plane. Maybe she was the only snake on the plane. Okay, so I know, like, the Muppets are technically all live action because they're fucking puppets, but imagine a Disney live action remake and Miss Piggy, like, just being a woman, kind of like Jumbo was just a man in the Lilo and Stitch remake, and they cast this woman to be Miss Piggy. I don't think there would be any other clear choice to play Miss Piggy for this role. Anyway, thank you for sticking around to the end. As you can see, if you are not new to this channel, this is a little bit different from my usual content because normally I I push content that's kind of more like a queer Mystery Science Theater 3000, but I am trying to get more videos out, therefore I need to actually take the time to record more videos. And what better place than to do it outside? I think most of my videos are going to be recorded outside, or at least in this format. And I would also greatly appreciate it if you not only liked, but also subscribed, because at this point in my channel's life, I think growth is extremely important, and I can only grow if you, engage with my content. So if you like this content, I highly encourage you to subscribe. We have fun here. And if you can, consider becoming a Ko-Fi member where I post exclusive content. For those of you who are new here, I am a real-life paleontologist, which means that I travel the world to go look for fossils. Like this megalodon tooth that I found off the coast of North Carolina, this beautiful iridescent ammonite that I found in Montana, this little ammonite that I found in Yorkshire in England, because I lived in the UK for like 10 years, and this ichthyosaur vertebrae that I found in Germany. Ichthyosaurs are not dinosaurs, by the way. They are marine reptiles. They don't have those ornithischian or saurischian hips. They ain't dinosaurs because hips don't lie.
I'm on tonight, you know my hips don't lie.
And I also want to give a special thank you to my good friend, She Says, from Boundary Break. Literally my bestie from many, many, many years in the past. We go back like 20-something years. He was the voice of Miss Piggy for this during that little quip back there. So go subscribe to him too, and tell him I sent you.
Just do as I tell you, Twink. Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna have the links to my Ko-Fi down below. Definitely feel free to subscribe to a membership tier. I might even send you a fossil as a thank you, but I'll definitely send you a Discord invite too. I also have a little fossil shop there, so you should definitely check that out as well. Until then, arrivederci, or das vidania, or whatever the hell they say in France.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?